everybody, welcome back. Today I have a little display here of nails. If they look a little crazy right here, it's because I just broke them off of, let me see where to go. One of these like swatch stick display plates. It's nothing too, crazy today, just something very simple and easy. I'm just going to show you. Most of you know how to do this, but for those of you who are just starting out stamping, or you don't know how to make decals, you just do plain stamping, no reverse stamping, I'm just going to show you a couple different ways of how you can do reverse stamping and you can apply it to your nail. Because maybe if one way doesn't work for you, maybe there's another way that you didn't know of that will work for you. So here's a couple ways that I know how to do it. So first, I made a bunch of images, and I used this plate because they had a lot of, spots where you could color in. I used the KADS Flower 003 plate. So if you like this plate, I'll put it down below. I didn't color my images in too perfect. I kind of just slapped the paint on because I just wanted them to dry so I could show you how to apply them. So yeah, they're not colored in too perfect. But here's one way. Say you color your image in, and even if you got a bunch of stampers and you color a bunch of them in, and then you leave them overnight and they're fully dry, so you could do a quick application in the morning. One way you can apply it is use a little bit of foil glue. You don't need much, almost like dry stamping. You can get a lot of it off. Just kind of swipe it across the nail very lightly. Not a lot like you're doing, foil on your nails, just a little bit. Let that dry for, a minute or so. But for those of you who don't have foil glue, another way you can do it is, this one was fully dry, and what I did was I waited a couple seconds because you don't want to put the clear coat on there because it could smear it. If you paint it and you hurry up and just brush a bunch of clear over it. And you do, even if you let it for a couple seconds dry, you do just want to float your brush over it, like barely touch it, so it doesn't, because you don't want to paint it, go through all that work, and then it smears. But I use this LA Colors Color Craze Gel. I don't believe it's a top coat, it's just a clear polish. You could basically use any clear polish. This one's from Dollar General, $2. So nothing too expensive. You can you could leave it sit. When it's fully dry, be careful because you don't want to puncture your stamper. You can pull your decal off. Okay, and then you got your decal. To make it stick a little bit better, grab some of that clear polish or top coat, base coat, whatever. Put it on the nail you want to apply your decal to. So lay it down where you want it. Here, actually, let me take this off of here. So you just want to make sure it's on there. So push it on. And then you got all this left over around the edges. So you could just, some reason scissors here are not working, my little clippers. Okay. close as you can to getting that extra stuff off that you're not gonna need. Okay, then if you take a little bit of acetone with any type of, like, if you got like an old eyeliner brush that's like this, or eyebrow brush, or sometimes the dollar store has them, you know, just any brush you would basically use to like clean up around the sides of your nails, you can use to melt the edges down. And acetone will literally just melt it. And it actually helps it stick to the nail a little bit better too, to adhere to it. Decals on. Then just top coat it. And that's one way of doing it. Okay, another way you can do it, well, here, the foil, its glue's probably sticky enough. So here was another one of our decals. You could just actually, so you can see a little bit better, let me take this one off. So here's our decal. Find out where you want to put it. Again, this sat for a while. It's fully dry. And there you go. The foil glue made it stick right to it. It just pulls the image right off of there. And flip off those extra sides there. Once again, use that acetone to melt those edges away. Whoops. Okay, to melt the edges away right here. Again, top coat. So there we go. Okay, so now the next way is, okay, so here's another decal, fully dry. Now say you don't have foil glue, you're basically going to do this one the same way you did the one with the foil glue, except instead of foil glue, you're just going to use a little bit of your top coat or a clear base, whatever you want to call it, clear polish. Let it just get a little bit tacky. Don't go straight in because it might just mush it down onto the nail. And then another way is you can, instead of putting it on the nail, you can put it on the decal, but instead of waiting for it to fully dry and peeling it, give it a couple seconds for it to get a little bit tacky. So I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Now here, this probably, yeah, it's just not wet. It's just, you know, the air's hit it a little bit. It's got tacky enough. So there, it gave it something for it to stick to. There you go. Just put a little bit on the nail of that top coat. I mean, and I let it sit, what, a couple seconds, but I didn't put a lot of top coat. I put, you know, a very little bit. Just enough for when the air hits it, for it to get a little bit sticky, tacky, and to pull my decal off. Again, Take your acetone, melts right off, melts it right to the image. Clean your brush, go back in. Okay, and there you go. Put your top coat on. And decal is done. And here was, where is that other one? Here's the one where we put just a little bit of top coat on the top, but we didn't let it fully dry. We are going to stick it right onto, okay, this one's being a little bit stubborn. So sometimes you do have to look and pull slowly. Probably dried a little bit too much. But this is the one where I put the clear over the top of it. I let it dry very lightly, not fully. And stamped it right on. And the last one I do is kind of similar to what I'm just doing with this one. The next one I do, that's how I mostly do all my reverse stamping. I either do it that way, or I do it where I peel it and I place it onto my nail where I want and then just top coat it. So again, top coat. That also helps it stick to it. Okay, there's your other decal. Last but not least, I didn't paint this one because I do want to show you. So here we got our stamped image. Now what we're going to do is, I just have some of these striping brushes, Art Deco. They're from the dollar store or Dollar General. You could get them anywhere. They might have them, I don't know, maybe Target, Walmart. So I'm not going to be perfect here. I'm kind of just going to throw some color on here. Okay, so you're going to let that sit, but not till it fully dries, just to where it gets tacky, to where, excuse me, to where you're going to put your finger on there and your fingerprint ain't going to show, or it's like barely going to make a mark. So let it sit for a few minutes and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back and it's been a little while. Now, as you could see my thumb or my fingerprint right there a little bit. Now, it still feels pretty dry around here, so it's tacky. Usually you could let it sit for a little bit longer, but you can kind of tell that it's like in between, like it's almost dry. It's more dry than wet. That makes sense. Okay, so what you want to do is find where you want to stamp it. Push down, give it a little bit of pressure, but not too hard, but enough. And there you go. That's the way I usually do my decals. I paint them, let them sit for a couple minutes till my fingerprints like barely showing on there, and I just stamp it right on. And then, like all of them, I use acetone to seal in the and clean up the sides. Like I said, it adheres it, so I just give it a little tap, barely touching then the edges right there. And then, once again, top coat. And done. So those are the ways you can do it. So again, the first one was we put some foil glue down and push the image on there. Let me see, which one was that one? Well, actually, we did that one second because we waited for the foil to dry. So we let the foil, we put the foil on the nail, we let it dry, and then we put our dry image on there, and it pulled it right off onto the nail. Then the second way was we put the top coat on the dry decal, let it dry. Once it was all dry, we peeled the decal off, flipped it over, laid it on top, cut the edges off, sealed it up with, after we cut the edges off, we sealed it with the acetone and top coated it. And then the last two ways, we just basically reversed what we did. We put a little bit of clear coat on the nail, let it get just a little bit tacky, stamp my image down, again cleaned up the edges and top coated. And then this way we put the clear coat on the decal, but we didn't let it fully dry, we just let it get semi-dry, so where it was still just like tacky but not fully dry, just tacky enough to stick, if that makes sense. And then again, clean up, top coat. So those were all the ways you can do reverse stamping. I hope I explained it okay and I made sense and you understood what I did there. Because it's nice to make your own decals. You know, you could buy stickers, but once you use them, it's over, it's done. If you get a plate, you could make your decals over. I apologize, my camera shut off on me. But as I was saying, when the plate, you know, you buy decals, once they're off, they're off. You buy a plate, you could just keep making your own sticker decals over and over and over. The plate's yours, so you'll forever keep making those decals if you like them. So I prefer to buy a plate than to buy like stickers and decals that are already pre-made. So if you found this tutorial useful or you liked it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. Have a blessed day. Thank you for watching. Come again. And yeah, have a good evening. Bye.